Today, we are talking about the NFL tampering period and how the Miami Dolphins are going to use that to their own benefit. What is up, Fin fans? Hope you guys are enjoying this Wednesday hump day. I'm sorry I did that. But yeah, we're going to talk about tampering. We're going to talk about that little sweet spot in the in the season where it's all right to do the wrong thing. But before we jump into that, I do have to shout out today's sponsor, and that is BetUS. You guys know about BetUS. I have talked about BetUS, so enough of me doing it. Here you go.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
BetUS, fantastic site. I'm on it right now to show you how awesome it is and how easy it is to use. So again, plethora of sports. You can even do martial arts. You can do politics. That's ridiculous that you could do politics. I didn't even know that politics was on there. You also go to the top, you got casino, you got race booking, all that stuff. But we're more NFL here. Free agents. That's what we want to see. Again, you click on it, you go here. Will J.K. Dobbins return to Baltimore in free agency? A yes or no. You can put a little bet in there. You can go back, do some other free agent things with Russell Wilson. Hey, Russell Wilson, where will he end up? They're saying the best option is the Pittsburgh Steelers. The worst option is the Bucks. And you know who's not on there? The Miami Dolphins. Not on there. But please go check out BetUS. If you like what you see, click the link in the description. Use the promo code JOIN125. And like it says right here, 3 deposits, 125%. Your first 3 deposits up to $2,500. 24-hour payout, 24/7 customer service. Go check them out. So let's talk about this. The tampering period. I'll say this, right? Because the Dolphins got in trouble for tampering. We lost draft picks for tampering, all that stuff. Tampering is going on. Tampering started at the combine. Like, if you really don't think that people were talking to each other and there's interest and all that stuff, it happened at the combine. Like, plain and simple, happened at the combine. And one of the things that I think is going to help the Miami Dolphins is Christian Wilkins. Now, let me first and foremost give you a little update and some information about Christian Wilkins, because again, Barry Jackson came out with this article yesterday talking about Christian Wilkins. He said last summer the Dolphins offered Wilkins a contract that would have paid him in the top 10 amongst defensive tackles in both average annual salary and guarantees. As perspective, Green Bay, Kenny Clark averaged 10th highest per salary. So Miami's offer would have been at least that high, if not higher, which is $17.5 million. The 10 defensive tackles have contracts calling for at least $40 million in guaranteed money. The Dolphins have offered at least that amount of guaranteed money to Wilkins. So they offered him roughly last year, roughly around $18 to $20 million and $40 million in guaranteed money. General Manager Chris Grier said a few months ago that Wilkins and his agent agreed that the team's summer 2023 offer was fair. Interesting. But Wilkins decided that he should be paid in line with the other top guys. Then he bet on himself, and he did really well. The other factors at play have been how to reconcile salary with Zach Sealer's salary and how much overall to allocate to that position. So again, you're paying Sealer around $10 million. Then you're going to be paying Wilkins around, like, that's like $30 million to that position. Can you really do it? While the Dolphins cannot stop Wilkins from hitting the open market once Tuesday's franchise tag deadline is officially passed, it has, and he wasn't tagged, they will continue efforts to try to re-sign him. If the bidding reaches a point they consider unpalatable, they then likely would seek another veteran defensive tackle. Given Wilkins the inflexible $22.1 million franchise tag would have handicapped Miami in free agency, but a long-term contract could cut that 22.1 cap number in half or more. If the Dolphins lose Wilkins in free agency, they're likely to receive a comp pick of the third round in 2025. And I will talk all about comp picks tomorrow in tomorrow's video. Because, yeah. So why, Doug, did you just read all that to me about Christian Wilkins? Because, like he said, they're not going to stop trying to sign Christian Wilkins. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't not bring back or not try to bring back Xavier Howard or Jerome Baker. And that is the point of this video, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The tampering period. A lot of people use the tampering period. They invented the tampering period because teams were tampering. Plain and simple. Once free agency used to start on the Wednesday of the new year at 4 o'clock, all of a sudden it was so-and-so agreed to terms, so-and-so agreed to terms, and it was just rapid fire. All of a sudden, all these free agents were getting signed to teams. How did they get signed so quickly? How was their contract already in works? Because they were tampering. Teams tamper all the time, but it's if you get caught egregiously doing it, you lose draft picks, a.k.a. Stephen Ross on the Miami Dolphins, a.k.a. the Eagles and their defensive coordinator, and it should be again with other players, a.k.a. the Kansas City Chiefs and Macklin. So they were like, hey, we need to just let them do their thing. So for 2.5 days, they get to tamper. And what teams are going to do now with this, because it's not official. There has been times where a player has agreed to terms during the tampering period with another team and then kind of was like, actually, you know what? We're going to go in a different direction. Thank you for this nice contract, but I'm going here instead. It has happened. It's rare, but it has happened. And I think that's what the Dolphins and other teams are doing because there's a lot of players that did not get franchise tags. Saquon Barkley didn't get franchise tag. Josh Jacobs didn't get franchise tag. There's a lot of good players that are hitting the open market and a lot of good players that got cut. Jamal Adams, I don't know if I put Jamal Adams up there with the cut. He's kind of fell off a little bit, but there's a lot of players that have been cut recently to get their team under the cap space. Like, look at Buffalo. They need to get under the cap space. They're in like cap space hell. Let me give you a little update on where we're at. So Buffalo is $40 million over the cap. Miami right now is only $18 million over the cap after releasing Jerome Baker, Keon Crossan. Xavier Howard doesn't take effect until June 1st, and Emmanuel Ogbah. Releasing those three guys got us to $18.8 million. But the Chargers still need to release guys, which they already started. The Bills need to release guys. The Saints, the Broncos, the Cowboys, the Ravens all need to get below the cap by Wednesday. So you're like, hey, how the heck are they going after Jonnu Smith? It's because they have to get under the cap by Wednesday. So with that being said, there's a lot of teams that are cutting players, good players, to get under that cap. Even some teams that don't need to get under the cap are cutting players. And what I think they're doing with this tampering period, and what I think the Dolphins are doing more specifically with Christian Wilkins, is they're letting him go, get a number. And like Barry Jackson said, if it's in the realm, so say top tier cap space, right? You got the Commanders at 91, you got the Patriots at 88, you got the Titans at 75, Texans at 70, Cardinals at 56, Bears. Like, I could see him going to any of these top teams, even like the Bengals. Like, a lot of teams need defensive tackles. Say he goes to all these teams that have a buttload of cap space and they offer him 20 million, 21 million, 20 million. And they're just, it's around that $21 million mark. And that's all he's hearing. He's not hearing 25. He's not hearing 26. He's not hearing what Aaron Donald is making. He's not hearing what all Quinnen Williams is making. He's hearing more of the 20 to 21 million to 22 million mark. Because yes, it was nice he got 9 sacks last year, but he only did it once. Aaron Donald's been doing it. Quinnen Williams been disruptive. All of these guys, Payne has been disruptive. He had 1 year of it. So he might not hear those things. He might. And the Dolphins might be like, okay, get your money. Thank you for your services. We'll try to find a vet to replace you, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. But like Barry Jackson said, if there is chatter that he hasn't broken the threshold that he wants to when it comes to yearly money, the Dolphins might be like, you coming back? Because we can offer you that money, but you go to Washington, you're paying state taxes. You go to New England, you're paying state taxes. You go to Tennessee, you're paying state taxes. Like if those are your three top contenders and we can match that money, you're going to make more money here because you're not going to be paying state taxes. Plus you already have a house here, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. So there's that. Also, Robert Hunt, they're doing the same thing. Now, there's a rumor out there from Fowler on ESPN that these guards might, because there's a lot of good guards out there now, might make $16+ million a year. It's a lot of cheddar for a guard. Don't get me wrong, Robert Hunt, love him. I'd love to have him back. Great guard. I don't know you're paying that much. So there's that idea where, okay, again, same thing like Christian Wilkins. Go out there, see what you're worth. And if your worth is what we can pay you, come back. We can offer it to you because, and it's that familiarity. It's home. You've been here. We drafted you, all that stuff that possibly they come back. And I think that's where the tampering period has changed from what it used to be. Because again, the tampering period, the way it used to be is a jump start. Look, we know what you're doing. Just do it in these 2-day window. Now it's more like, let's see what you're worth and let's see if we can match it. That's what I think. Comment below. Let me know what you think. That's what I kind of think. I think that's the realm they're going because we have some guys that are going to be testing free agency. I'll raffle off some names for you guys. But there's a lot. There's a lot of Dolphins that are going to be Connor Williams, Christian Wilkins, Andrew Van Ginkel. Again, he might be a guy that go see what you're worth and see if he can come back. Robert Hunt, Raekwon Davis. He said he wants to come back. Like he's made it very apparent and very well known that he wants to come back. So that's a possibility of being able to bring him back on not a big fat crazy contract. But to me, the guys that they're probably letting see what their worth is, Connor Williams, he's going to wait because he's rehabbing. But Christian Wilkins and Andrew Van Ginkel and Robert Hunt, those three guys, I think they're keeping an eye on. And even Jerome Baker, see if they can bring him back. But those three guys, I think they're keeping an eye on and seeing, can we afford to bring two of these guys back? Can we afford to bring Wilkins and Andrew Van Ginkel back and keep together that defensive front? Or can we bring back a Hunt and a Van Ginkel and, build on the offensive line? I think that's what they're doing. And I think that's what a lot of NFL teams are doing with this new tampering period. It's not new, Doug, with this tampering period, because like I said, back in the day, it was a completely different situation, and tampering is now, it's all over the place. Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves, because, we got in trouble. The Chiefs got in trouble at one point. Eagles got in trouble at one point for tampering. You only get in trouble and you only lose draft picks if you get caught and it's announced, because then the NFL has to be like, well, you broke the rule, so we have to. I'm telling you, during the combine, these agents are talking to each other. How do you see Jonnu Smith is the horse of a different color because he was a free agent, so that's not tampering. But how do you think like some of these deals get done so quickly? You know what I'm saying? The tampering's always going on. Trade talks are always going on. All of these things that they're not supposed to be doing are always going on. So I just wanted to come on here, kind of talk more about Christian Wilkins and the fact that the Dolphins tried. Like some of you guys in the comment section, even on Twitter, are like, I can't believe they let him walk. I can't believe they're not going to do anything. They tried. They offered him $20 million last year. Well, what Barry said is 17.5, more than 17.5. But they offered him $40 million guaranteed last year. This is before he had 9 sacks. And good for him for betting on himself and winning. But it was 1 year. So go see what you're worth, and maybe he'll come back. To say that Robert Hunt, Christian Wilkins, and Andrew Van Ginkel are gone would just be, I don't want to say lazy, but it's not the truth. because they very easily can come back. Now, when it comes to the cap space, I know a lot of people are like, who with the cap space? And Barry kind of talks about that with the cap space because I know a lot of people are freaking out. So the Dolphins, I'll give you numbers right here. Hold on. But simply restructuring Jalen Ramsey and Bradley Chubb could create $32 million in cap space. I'm gonna write this down. Write it down, Doug. Okay. 32 mil, right? Just those two guys. If the Dolphins extend Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa, that will create 28 mil. 28 million, which comes out to a big old fat whopping $60 million in cap space, right? And not counting the 18.5 million that is coming June 1st. Miami cleared 2.9 by releasing Keon Crossan. The Dolphins can Jeff Wilson's cap hit 3.7. If they move on from him, it's a 2.6 that they can save there. Yeah. So overall, let me just give you a rough idea. The Miami Dolphins can save by making 4 moves of restructuring Bradley Chubb and Jalen Ramsey, $32 million in cap space, extending Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa, $28 million in cap space. Like I said, that is $60 million. The Miami Dolphins currently are $18.8 million over the cap. So 18.8 minus 60 mil. The Dolphins will be $41.2 million over the cap, and that would put them around the Rams, who have 40 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They'd be 12th in the NFL in cap space. So from bottom 3 to 12th in the NFL with 4 moves. Restructuring Chubb and Jalen Ramsey and extending Hill and Tua, 60 million in cap space. So let's not worry too much. Let's stress out too much. But if Jonnu Smith signing happens today, because again, this is coming out at 9:00, you'll get a video. If more cuts happen, more restructuring happens, you'll get a video. I'm going to be incredibly busy for the next probably week and a half, and I love it. I love doing this stuff. I love you guys. But I will see you either later today or definitely tomorrow talking about comp picks. And then on Friday, we are looking at free agent targets. Let's go. Excited. Off-season football, but it's still a fun time. So like usual, stay classy. Have fun time.